Hey guys, it's Graham. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be telling you how to use Aupairworld to find that right host family for you. Before I jump into this video, if you haven't already, please like it and subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment down below. You guys are the best. And that being said, let's jump right into this video. So I've been getting lots and lots of messages lately from au pairs saying that they're having a hard time finding a host family, or they're not having much luck. And one of the biggest things that I see with the people sending me these messages are they have bad Aupairworld profiles. If you don't use Aupairworld correctly, or if you don't have a good profile, you're not gonna have much luck in finding a family. So I'm making this video today to tell you guys exactly how to set up your Aupairworld profiles, what to do to find that right host family for you. And I'm not gonna say you're gonna find the perfect host family, because I don't think the perfect host family exists. But I promise you, if you follow the steps that I'm gonna give you today and you yourself have an attractive portfolio and you are prepared to be an au pair, you will have luck finding a family. So getting that out of the way, let's jump right into the first step of the process, and you need to set your expectations. This point is exceptionally important because I talk to so many au pairs who have just horrible search criteria, horrible expectations for their au pair stay, and it does affect their search. What I mean when I say to set your expectations or to set your criteria is figure out what kind of family and what country you want to be in. I know this sounds really basic, but a lot of people looking for host families don't know this stuff. They've never really thought about it. And going through this is going to help you find that right family and narrow down your options. Some things that you need to think about when you're setting up your criteria are, do you want to live in a big city or in the countryside? Do you want to live with a family that speaks the host country's language or your native language? Do you want to speak the host country's language or your native language? Do you want to have pets? Do you want to have kids with special needs? Do you want to have young kids or older kids? Do you want to have a couple of kids or a lot of kids? These are all things that you need to think about when you're looking for a host family. One of my big cautions is don't set your search criteria too narrow. Once again, I get a lot of messages from people who are saying that I can't find a host family, or I've spent 5 months and I can't find anyone. And then when I get their search criteria, they're looking in like this one neighborhood of Amsterdam. So don't be too specific when you're looking for a host family, or else it's gonna skew your results. Another big point here is don't be too wide either. Every once in a while, I'll hear from an au pair that has set their search criteria too wide because they're trying to find just as many families as they can. And the issue is they end up with a family that either doesn't really match their desires, or their search criteria is so wide that they're just overwhelmed. So be sure to find that perfect happy medium and stick to it. So for the second point, I'm gonna move upstairs to the kitchen and sit down, and then we will talk about having a good profile. Let's go. I've made it up here to the kitchen table, and I'm gonna go into the second step of the process, which is to set up a good Aupairworld profile. Hear me when I say this, regardless of how good you are, or regardless of how good of an au pair you would be, if your Aupairworld profile is not attractive, host families are not going to talk to you. Man, if I could get an au pair tattoo, that's what it would say, because this is such an important thing that so many people don't understand. The first step in setting up a good Aupairworld profile is to have good, high quality profile pictures. In Aupairworld, you can upload, I think it's up to 10 pictures of yourself for your profile, and the first picture, and at least one of those pictures out of the 10, needs to be a good picture of you, just you, where the host family can clearly see your features, your face, and just feel like they have met you without actually meeting you. I will put some pictures here on the screen that are from my Aupairworld profile, but then after that first picture, you're gonna wanna put some pictures of maybe you with friends, or you doing an activity you enjoy, you with your family. You get the idea. Just some general pictures of showing what your life is like. The second part of having a good Aupairworld profile is the text. So when host families are scrolling through Aupairworld, they're gonna see your picture, your name, your age, where you're from, and that's it. So once they click on your profile because they see that beautiful picture of you, they are going to see the text, which is going to give them an idea as to whether they want to send you a message or not. One of the really big issues that I see from au pairs that can't seem to find host families is they will have really bad text in their profile. This is especially a guy problem. Us guys are just not good at this, but you need to make sure in your Aupairworld profile that your text is clear, concise, and shows your personality. Aupairworld makes this super simple because they've divided the profile page into different little categories where you can write things about yourself. And I do encourage you to fill in every single one of those, because the goal here is when the host family clicks on your profile, they see your pictures, they read your text, they are going to be able to say, yes, this person is worth talking to, or no, they're not a good match for me. So if you don't have those good high quality text and pictures, host families aren't gonna send you a message. Step 3 of this process is to be proactive. After you do make an Aupairworld profile, you are going to start sending and receiving messages to and from host families. One of the most important things after you set up your good Aupairworld profile is to be very proactive sending and receiving messages. Last time I checked, there were 2 au pairs for every host family on Aupairworld. So that means in order to find a good host family, you're gonna have to be better and faster than someone else. My trick to doing this is I get on Aupairworld twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, just about for 15 minutes or so, in order to respond to messages and or send messages to new host families. When host families are making profiles, they might get up to 10 messages a day. So you want to be one of the first people to send a message, and you want to make sure that your message is clear and it talks about why you want to be their au pair. When you send them this message, explain why their profile interests you and why you think you two could be a good match. All right, so I'm gonna go to the living room for the last 2 points and find my favorite seat in the house, and we'll continue there. All right, so to cover points 4 and 5, I've made it here in the living room, and let's jump right into point 4, which is to ask tough questions. I've talked about this on and off in the past in other videos, but it's so important when you're looking for a host family to ask them tough questions. After you've sent some messages on Aupairworld, you're probably going to do video chats with the host family, and this is gonna give you a chance to talk with them and to see them and see if you two would be a good match. During these video chats, I highly encourage you to ask questions that might seem a bit uncomfortable, but are gonna give you a better idea as to if you're gonna be a good match. If you've watched my au pair horror story, then you would know that pretty much that whole situation came up because I didn't ask the family any tough questions. So when I actually went to meet them, I realized they weren't the people who I even thought they were. It was a disaster. I'll link it up here if you haven't watched it yet. But asking tough questions is so important to figure out if this host family is going to be a good match for you. Here's a few examples. Number 1, I always like to ask how they discipline their kids. Perhaps they don't discipline their kids, or perhaps they're really strict, and those are good things to know. I also like to ask about their experience with other au pairs. If they've had a bad experience, ask why. Ask what made it bad and how they're going to avoid that in the future, potentially with you. Also, be sure to talk to their former au pairs because it's gonna give you a better idea about the family and if they're a good match for you. I also like to ask families what the most important thing in an au pair is for them. If they say dedication and hard work and you say having fun, there might be a conflict of interest. Okay, so the last step of the process, and possibly the most difficult, is to be patient. Looking for a host family can be really long. It can be really tiring, really exhausting, and you need to be patient in order to find that right one. For my year-long host family, I waited for like 3 months to find this family. I think I talked to some 20 families. It takes time. It takes time. So don't just sign up with the first family that offers you a job. Shop around, figure out what's best for you and for them, and then go with the family that you think is going to be right for you. The big thing here is don't rush into it and trust your gut. If something smells a bit fishy, it's probably because there is something a bit fishy. All right guys, so that is how you can set up an Aupairworld profile to have the most success. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and be on the lookout as new videos come every Monday and Thursday. Muchas gracias por ver y hasta luego. Ciao.